second.
Siddhi.
It's a very professional channel. Guys, welcome.
Okay.
Welcome
So,
to Kacha Papita YouTube stream. I'm so happy to have both of you. We have Anish Goregaonkar and Pushkar Bendre with us today, representing the Bombay and Pune comedy scene. And we are discussing every comedian's favorite comedian. Did you know Larry David was voted the 23rd best comedian's favorite comedian in the US, I guess. World बोलना पता नहीं मुझे सही होगा कि गलत.
23rd, like,
23rd,
मेरे को
yeah.
सब बहुत, but that's very high, like,
Yeah, that's very
मतलब,
high. Yeah. So today we are
it will
discussing
be like
Larry
top
David.
5 something. ऐसा लगता है मेरे को.
23rd means, I mean, I'm sure Larry David doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Also, it must be like in 100 years or something. 23rd.
Oh,
हाँ ऐसा होगा.
हाँ, then
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But और उधर comedians भी हमारे यहाँ तो actual comedians ही 23 है.
ऐसे मत बोल यार.
एक इधर बैठ. But
नहीं.
Larry
Yeah.
David का तो मेरे को, like, I saw one Ricky Gervais का interview and he's like, Ricky Gervais अगर तेरे को genius बोल रहा है, then you deserve, like, Ricky Gervais is like Larry David is a genius. So I'm like, फिर तो बनता है इंसान का.
So we are discussing both his shows today, right? Curb Your Enthusiasm and this and
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So should we start with Seinfeld, because I mean,
Either way, I'm okay because both the shows I like. By the way, Praktisha, I just have to, before you start, I just have to tell you, I started searching your channel yesterday.
yeah, I
And
know it
all-
shows Kacha Papita juices. I know that. Yes. And I thought
It's
about
amazing.
like changing the name, but I was like, अब लोगों तो बना दिया है तो ठीक ही है.
It's amazing. There is one person called who says पपीता खाने से पहले जान ले, यह जरूरी बात है.
What?
It's like that.
पपीता खाने से पहले जान देना.
जान ले यह जरूरी बात. मतलब it's like before you eat papita, there is a video that you should watch. I feel
दूसरा
that,
fruit ज़्यादा tasty है. That's
I
I
think
feel that I've been eating papita all wrong. Sorry. Yeah.
मेरा चैनल भी लैरी डेविड के शो के एपिसोड जैसा ही जा रहा है, फुल सर्कल. नाम पता नहीं हमें क्यों ये नाम कूल लगा था, पता नहीं. Our definition of cool is all fucked up, I guess.
Yeah, I think, or there are maybe people searching for too many people searching for kacha papita, which is like a raw papaya actually on YouTube, which doesn't explain Indian audience YouTube behavior very well. Like,
It's good for skin, no, and this is also good for hair. This is just
so I think
look at me
Praktisha ने भी
doing like
वैसे ही
cheap
search
marketing.
किया है and suddenly उसने भी वैसे ही, and suddenly she's like, yeah, it's a cool name for a channel.
These are my like other comedians are writing hashtags like Indian comedy scene. I'm writing kacha papita recipe, kacha papita juice, good for skin. Komal Pandey. These are my hashtags. So, yeah. Completely different audience, guys.
Great,
So-
great.
तो अच्छा ही है ना, मैं आप लोगों के मार्केट से नहीं, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स के मार्केट से चुरा रही हूँ, तो अच्छा ही है सबके लिए. But coming back to Larry David, let's talk about. We'll begin by talking about Seinfeld, yeah. Which is your, like, what do you like so much about Seinfeld? Like for me, I confess I watched Seinfeld after Friends, because मतलब I was in my like it used to come on Star World ना, Seinfeld और Friends साथ में आता था.
हाँ.
तो coincidentally एक बार मैंने Seinfeld देखा, मैं तो Friends ही देख रही थी because more attractive looking people, and then I fell for the show because I thought it was pretty amazing, and it's so natural.
हाँ.
So,
But
बचपन
But actually, like, एक वो question भी था ना, like, which one is better? Like, Friends better है या Seinfeld better है? Like, अभी
I think it's a
dispute
growing up thing. Like when you're younger, you like Friends because you know it's relatable. But
हाँ.
as your taste improves, you start liking Seinfeld. And as
Yeah.
it completely evolves, you like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I feel it's like that. I don't know.
So
True. ये भी है.
actually when I watched तो कैसा था कि earlier obviously we like Friends because everyone in school or college whenever they talk about our friends, so then you start watching it. And when I was watching Friends, actually I was living all by myself in Chennai. I had my 1 BHK apartment where I was living and job पे जाता था. So it was really relatable at that
Relatable,
time.
yeah.
People staying away from home. एंड a lot of people criticize it, but ठीक है, मतलब वो टाइम के लिए ह्यूमर अच्छा था. अभी तुम बैठ के वो ह्यूमर देखोगे, you might not enjoy that.
Yeah.
And at that time पहले as you said साइनफील्ड आता था, but मैंने कभी देखा नहीं था. वो ऐसे हाँ ठीक है आ रहा है, एक वो गंजा आदमी कुछ करता रहता है बीच में आता है. Kept on ignoring it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
too easily available, and ऐसे लगता था कि अभी स्टार्ट का बीच में से कहाँ you will start watching. You
Yeah.
will watch it right
हाँ,
from the beginning.
true.
So you think about that. And then later when I realized अरे यार एक दिन again I moved somewhere else and I was living all by myself. वहाँ कोई दोस्त नहीं था. I had no friends. So just दिन भर बैठ के टीवी देखना. Because I was in Kolkata, I didn't know anyone for first
Right.
couple of months. I came home, I used to watch TV all the time. फिर उसमें continuously Z Cafe पे it was there. And then I enjoyed it. And once you start watching it, then I didn't even know that it was written by a guy named Larry David. And then when I really got onto it, I started discussing the show with people. Then I came to know that Larry David had written the show. George Costanza, the character, was based on
On Larry David, yeah.
Yeah. And when you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm after that, and again when you start watching Seinfeld, you realize that it's not just the George Costanza character that is based on Larry David. It's all the 4 characters that are there. They're all based on Larry David in one way or the other. मतलब all the characters, if you look at it, Elaine का भी कभी-कभी बीच में जो हरकतें करती थी, that is all as Larry David. Jerry obviously has its own persona, but वो भी था बीच में Larry David जैसे ही वो think करता था.
सबका evil side I feel is like from Larry David. सबका evil side is from Larry.
Yeah.
Even I read this somewhere that Kramer is actually Larry's actual flatmate. So when he was staying, I think somewhere in New York, his the person who used to live across the hall, उसके ऊपर Kramer का character is based. So yeah, and I love the fact that he takes so much from life. Like it's the perfect excuse me for the metaphor, like it's the perfect Shah Rukh Kajol Jodi, Seinfeld and Larry David. Any
that's
episode,
that's an analogy, matlab, to be honest.
I think that's the best
नहीं बोलना चाहिए.
any episode.
In my head I'm just picturing Larry David going कि हाथ दे दे, वो ट्रेन में से हाथ Seinfeld को दे रहे.
देख बहुत गालियां देगा तो पब्लिक देखेगी. शाहरुख का जो हम तो अच्छा चैनल देखना है. I'm kidding.
वो लोग anyways
she said,
ढूंढने आए.
she said forgive me for the analogy.
Yeah.
So, मैं तो जोक बाद में, apology पहले. Also, this is the audience that's come looking for कच्चा पपीता juice. So juice से तो better ही ठीक ही है. But any episodes that stand out for you? Anything that you remember top of mind? Like
Marine Biologist. Marine Biologist is the
क्या
best.
हुआ था? So I don't remember. Can you
So
tell us?
basically, like the thing I love about Seinfeld is that 4 characters start में कुछ तो अलग ही कर रहे हैं. Like they are doing their individual thing. और फिर by the end of the episode, like सबका life ऐसा एक की वजह से दूसरा influence हो रहा है. You know. So in Marine Biologist that happens is that there is वो Kramer जो है. So he asked Jerry कि उसको golf खेलने आना है क्या? And Kramer is playing golf at seashore. वो बीच पे खड़े होकर golf मार रहा है पानी समंदर में. And then so this is happening एक side पे. Jerry is somewhere else. उसको एक friend मिलती है and he introduces her friend to George. और फिर वो George के बारे में बात करते हैं कि George is a marine biologist, which is obviously fake because George Costanza has no job. Then George gets mad at Jerry क्योंकि Jerry को उसको मतलब वो Jerry को बोलता है कि तू marine biologist क्यों बोला? तेरे को पता है मेरे को architect बनना था. तो अगर तेरे को introduce करना है तो just say I'm an architect. And conversation is so hilarious. और फिर by the end of the episode he is pretending to be a marine biologist. फिर there is a whale in the समंदर जो मतलब सीशोर पे आके रुक गई है.
Yeah, I remember this.
हाँ, कि इधर बायोलॉजिस्ट है, तो जॉर्ज को जाना पड़ता है, और फिर somehow वो वेल को बचा लेता है, और बाद में पता चलता है कि वेल के वो जो क्या होल कौन सा होता है वो ऊपर, there is some hole ना वेल के ऊपर, वो ब्रीफ
I also don't know what it's
तो
called.
उसमें there is a golf ball जो क्रेमर ने मारा था. It's so amazingly written, मतलब वो एपिसोड ही इतना मस्त है यार, बहुत फनी एपिसोड है.
When you said, I could remember each of the scenes.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing.
love this episode called, I think it was called the flatmate or the rent or something, where the apartment, sorry, where basically Elaine is supposed to move above Jerry, like ऊपर का
हाँ.
flat खाली है.
हाँ, yeah.
And वो उसको and he doesn't want her to come, but he ends up paying for the apartment initially because of Kramer. And then later, it happens that Kramer understands कि मेरे को नहीं करना चाहिए था, and somebody else takes the apartment, and the person who actually takes the apartment is a musician. So Jerry is himself in a suit. But and what I like is, like, this is very relatable because this is the kind of shit that I do. Like, I don't want to say no. Like, मेरे मन में no है पर मैं बोल नहीं पाती. So I'm like, तुम 3,000 रुपए ले लो ना, पैसे ले लो, please. It's a horrible thing. Pushkar, any episodes that stand out for you? Any instances from the show that you absolutely love?
I don't know. I mean, as an episode, if you ask me, so some of them I like are really the Soup Nazi episodes are that I really love.
Oh, yes.
One character they have picked out, and in fact, the original guy it's actually based on a guy in New York who sells soup like that. He came on an interview and he was so pissed that he actually sounded like that guy from the character from the series. So वो एक episode बहुत पसंद था, and obviously the contest I like.
Yeah, the contest is the number one episode apparently in American television.
And I think one more episode, I don't remember the name of the episode exactly, but there's an episode where Susan dies, who is George's fiance. She dies.
Oh yeah.
Because of
the envelope.
Envelope she dies, and after that, the moment she dies, 2 days later, he calls Marisa Tomei, and she's like, "Hey, my fiance just died." She's like, "Oh, that's sad. So what are you doing this weekend?" He has no sense. And then there's one more instance where he sets his caller tune because he doesn't want to talk to someone. Okay, and the person calls and his caller tune is, "Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Leave a message at the beep." That's so obvious that you are at home, yeah. So obvious that you are at home. You're making it sad. Oh, mom, बैठ के popcorn खा रहा है. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Leave a message.
हाँ, वो फिर the person calls and she's like कि मैं ऑफिस में हूँ, so फिर उसके घर पे फोन करता है, just to say कि यार मैंने घर पे किया. बहुत क्या. Another episode about George Costanza is the opposite. Like there is an episode जहाँ पे George का is like कि मैं सब कुछ opposite करूँगा, जो मैं real life का decision लेता हूँ, मैं सबका opposite करूँगा. तो जाके न्यूयॉर्क यांकीज के ओनर के ऊपर चिल्ला देता है for no reason.
And works out well for him, na?
Yeah. He becomes a manager or something there, right?
Just the concept क्या amazing है. I'm like कि ये मुझे भी करना चाहिए, you know. मेरे को लगा था George Costanza.
So the way they have shown now, earlier George gets fired in a way where he shows that I'm not going to come to office. So that is something that Larry David had really done when he used to write for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So Saturday Night Live, he used to write, and that's what I have read, that he goes and he went and he said, "No, Baba, you don't take my ideas. I'm quitting my job and I leave." And he just left. And then someone told him that nothing, you go back on Monday morning like nothing had happened. And he goes back on Monday morning. The only thing is that he doesn't get fired from his job. Okay. But the George gets fired. No? I think.
George actually gets fired. Yeah.
The job thing also, he doesn't do anything. He just goes there, 5 घंटा 8 घंटा office में बैठता है and he leaves.
वो और एक था ना वो जहाँ पे वो मेड के साथ सेक्स करता ऑन द टेबल एंड देन द ओनर कंसर्न्स हिम एंड ही इज लाइक is that not like legal? Like that's his response.
Yeah, the cleaning lady, I think. Yeah.
Cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Elaine gets him that job actually.
Yeah.
In her office.
Yeah.
Like I used to do that in my like previous job and it was completely okay.
The way Anish said, I thought you were saying that I used to do that. I'm like, okay, this is I don't need this information. This is not the kind of channel. इतना भी subscribers का जरूरत नहीं है अनीश. Don't sell yourself like this. But I remember जब मतलब जो पहला episode था ना जो मैंने देखा था, like I was watching Friends and then that accidental thing, and I still remember that episode जिसमें Kramer ऐसे ही office चला जाता है. Like he doesn't work there or anything, but he just goes. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. And this is what Amir Khan does in Three Idiots, na, with the uniform.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, what does Kramer do? He wears the office suit, he takes the and he just starts going to office.
Okay.
And then Amir Khan has the same logic कि school जाने के लिए uniform चाहिए.
Wow.
And if you see, there are so many jokes that our shows and movies have just picked up.
Yeah. In fact, even like Friends में भी वो है, like some of the like the reason I hate Friends is because कुछ parts है जो like you can see like ये Seinfeld से उठा है सीधा. There is a Christmas wala episode that
Hanukkah
wala वो some parts like they clearly like just taken कि हाँ ये ले लेते. तो मतलब इसलिए मेरे को Friends पसंद नहीं आया. This Seinfeld is like gold वैसे. So there is no reference. But
if you watch Seinfeld first, you will never like Friends. I mean, I started watching it and I'm like, ये क्या है? But then you have to understand that there are people who are making things for different set of audience. ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
Right.
I mean, हाँ.
अरे मैं
ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मेरे को कुछ नहीं मेरे. We are like fighting over Friends and Seinfeld like I hate Friends, by the way. Now I do it, but I didn't back then. Back then I enjoyed it. I laughed at it. Now I hate myself for laughing at it.
I think when you are staying away from home, then like Friends make sense. Yeah. Like that time when you're paying rent and all, then you're like, मुझे भी तो यही apartment चाहिए था. Why am I living in a bathroom in Bandra? Like, what is happening?
And then like they go out and drink every day, and then you see they get into all sort of relationships. And तुम like मेरी life में तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा.
ये Tinder चल नहीं रहा है कि मेरा फोटो खराब है.
अरे यार Seinfeld is very like कि ये सब तो हो रहा है मेरे लाइफ में, मैं यही नहीं करता.
Yeah, and I like Jerry and Elaine, like मतलब वो लोग दोस्त ही रहते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि प्यार हो गया नहीं हो गया. There's no Ross Rachel thing going on, which I thought is natural.
So the thing I have observed about Seinfeld is like with every show that you see, the characters improve. You know, over the years you see the growth in character. Seinfeld में they just keep getting worse. Like,
there's no pressure to grow or anything.
हाँ, there is like that's like normal life. सब लोग एक ही level पे चल रहे, फिर नीचे गिर जाएंगे. जॉर्ज कस्टेंजो का wife मर गया, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. It's just good.
That is a very dark side of that. Yeah. He's like he got engaged and he's like he wants to get out of that engagement, but he cannot say that to her. So he's like, oh, she dead just like that. Uska grave पे भी जाके he's like, they say कि obituary. He's like, no, nothing. मेरे को बोला बोल, and he does this. ऐसे करता है, क्या हो गया?
But I don't know, somehow I find like a lot of things that they say is like weird. I find it very like, हाँ, but actually तो ये हमारा natural reaction ही है ना, मतलब आधा time हम pretend ही कर रहे हैं.
Very like observational comedy max ऐसा. Like in one of the episodes, Elaine ऐसा subway में travel कर रही है, like which is like train equivalent to train, और फिर subway बंद हो जाता है, and then वो अपने दिमाग में सोच रही है, and that voiceover is like so funny कि like ये मैं भी करता हूँ. You know, कि ट्रेन रुक क्यों गया, चलना जल्दी मेरे को पहुंचना है, you know, all that thing. It's very relatable. फिर then there's like वो एयरपोर्ट पे like एयरप्लेन में बैठी है, उसके बाजू वाला उठ नहीं रहा and she has to pee. तो वो दिमाग में ये उठ सकता है क्या, मैं इससे डायरेक्टली परमिशन मांग लूं क्या, you know, all that with so relatable यार.
Even that do you I don't know if you guys remember, it's not a very important episode, but there was an episode called Body Odor, BO. जहाँ
Yeah.
पे there's because the guy, the valet who fixed the car, his body, he had body odor, and then and like it's such a small joke. Like it's not even like if you write it as a simple thing, you're not even going to. But they pushed it so far. Like उसका sex life खराब हो जाता है, इसको कहीं से निकाल
Yeah.
देते हैं. मतलब like it's just the depth they go to is amazing.
मेड वाला भी एपिसोड है ना जिसमें he has starts dating the maid and then she doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
She just takes the money and leaves, and the house is in a mess. So he's like, "What did I just pay for?" And then he fires her. He says that you want to do that work. She gets really angry and she leaves. So she says, "Don't call me to hire for a maid or for this thing." She said, "I did the bed," but he said, "You took a nap in it for 3 hours. So what's the point of it?" And then she leaves, and then उसका वो जो रहता है उनका services का, he comes to him as if he's a pimp, and he's like, hey, you're giving one of my girls trouble, and he says, "No, I'll pay up." He's like, "Hey, not here. Don't give it to the girl directly for tax purposes." And then when he's paying it to the girl, he just spots her on a footpath, and वो गाड़ी पार्क करता है अपना साइड में, पार्क भी नहीं करता, गाड़ी में बैठा रहता है, just sitting in the car, and he's offering her money, and she bends down, and she's taking money, and she's wearing a
Oh
short
yeah,
skirt,
yeah.
jacket, and everything. So पीछे से cops आते हैं, looking for a good time, sir.
Joke construction, like.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful that every episode, or normally in most of the episodes, there is one or the other. Especially Curb, it's way evolved. If you look at it, the callbacks that he has put in most of the episode, it just comes out beautifully in Curb. In Seinfeld, obviously, they don't need that because there are many characters, and I think that's the difference that I see between all both the shows. Because in this show, he needed 3-4 characters to recreate himself, because he at that time was obviously known in the circuit, but not a very ऐसा नहीं है जो आज everyone like goes crazy for him and all those things, वैसा नहीं है. But there was a time, so he had all these different characters जिसको लेके he had to pitch a show and do the story and everything that he did. So that's what.
Also,
But it's also like वो sitcom के जैसे बनाया है, like Seinfeld, so it's really difficult to get a callback in that. Whereas Curb is like normal comedy drama, and उसमें callback easy रहेगा, so that's why maybe.
Also, like the first season, I was watching it again. I felt like all the episodes in the first season, मतलब उसमें callback का treatment he's used in almost all the episodes. Like second season में थोड़ा सा the writing has changed in terms of like like there are like in the first season बार-बार he is the victim. In the sense कि हमेशा या तो उसको घर से निकाल दिया है या ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है, मतलब हमेशा कुछ. सेकंड सीजन में थोड़ा सा इज विनिंग, सो आई एम लाइक अरे फाइनली, मतलब फर्स्ट सीजन देख के आई वाज लाइक यार मेरे को ये बंदे के लिए बहुत बुरा लग रहा है. क्या हो रहा है इसके साथ.
That's every sitcom, right? The main character is getting bullied, so like that. Everybody loves Raymond, और वो सब में same ही है. But like Seinfeld then just like took off, like कुछ किसी के साथ कुछ भी हो सकता.
कुछ अच्छा होगा ही नहीं, कुछ अच्छा
नहीं होगा, कुछ बुरा ही होगा, सबके साथ बुरा होगा. पर and like one thing is that Seinfeld अगर देखना है तो start from season 3. It's like season 1-2 में उतना कुछ important है नहीं. Like season 3 had the Chinese restaurant वाला episode.
Oh yeah.
It was like so amazing.
There's a girlfriend with Chinese name, ना. एक तो कोई girlfriend रहती है जिसका नाम भी Chinese रहता है, and she shows up and she's American.
तो जब फोन पे बात करते तो उसका एडवाइस ले लेते हैं, जब रियल लाइफ में देखते तो एडवाइस ले ले.
वो ऐसा बहुत दिखाई नहीं होता है shows में. Like when I obviously remember Curb more because उसका episodes are a little more relatable for someone who's crossed 30. Those episodes become more relatable.
Now I feel like if I get married, I'm gonna just tell the guy कि I don't need courtship, just watch Curb, because this is how this marriage is going to look. Like I am this crazy person, just that I'll be the male character in this, because like being married to him is just the craziest thing in that. Like वो बीवी पूरा time she's like मैं इसका खून करूं कि ना करूं, is he worth going to jail or no, like let me think about this.
He's got married again, na, if you know.
Yeah, in 2020 only, na, I think.
During the lockdown only, and he said like what they do is, and what he said is, what he was pissed about is that his wife starts watching a series without him. So basically, he says it's too difficult to catch on after that. So that's what he said. I mean, उसका था line वैसे ही था. He said कि हाँ, she started watching the series, starts watching series without me. अब how can I catch up after few? So
Yeah, he's. I think this is the real representation of comedians that I think a lot of people are complaining here. But Larry David is like the real. ऐसा ही तो होता है ये हम लोग थोड़े पागल तो है ही वो तो मतलब you can't deny.
हाँ, he like perfect. उतना ही shallow है, उतना ही insensitive, like perfect.
Let's also talk about the smaller characters. Like I love Newman in Seinfeld. Like that irrational hate that Jerry and Newman share. Matlab, I don't know, like for you guys, but for me, I know there are a lot of people I just hate. There's no reason. They're nice people. Everybody likes them, but I'm just like, there's something about you. There's just this Hello Newman thing going on for you. I don't know what is it.
Yeah.
Newman gives out that evil vibe, no? Always. Hello, Newman. And he always is hatching schemes or something like that, no? वो पोस्टल सर्विस को यूज करके कुछ भी उसका क्रेमर के साथ प्लान बना लेता है समथिंग and he's always the guy for everything. Like one of the episodes where Elaine gets haunted by those dogs.
Oh yeah, the dogs.
Kramer says only one guy who can help you, and he goes to Newman, and Newman is sitting as if I might consider it, and then वो लेके जाता है कुत्ते को कुछ भी काम करते हैं. They have like a lot of time up their sleeves.
The funniest Newman wala thing I've like laughed at is the वो जहाँ पे they make the muffin top episode है जहाँ पे वो लोग muffin का खाली top बेच रहे हैं और base रह जाता है बहुत सारा and nobody is accepting it, so they are like we'll call the cleaner. कार आता है पूरा रेस में और फिर उसमें से न्यूमन निकलता है and he has like it's a James Bond के कपड़े पहन के और इसके हाथ में 2 दूध का ये है. It's so fun.
I like the way he runs most of the time.
Muffin top is such a great idea though. Please start Muffin top somebody. Like I'll buy it.
Like some of the ideas are really good, yeah. As a concept, like the coffee table book about a coffee table. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
वो टूर भी करता है उसको लेके.
Did you? I don't know if you guys have read. You must be knowing this that the Curb Your Enthusiasm, especially, was written as a 1-hour special apparently, and then they turned it into a series. Did you? I read this somewhere today because I
so HBO में there is a if you look at it, HBO Hotstar उसमें they shown that first episode of HBO where Larry David, I don't know how true it is because I've not read about it, but they have shown that he is supposed to record his own special and the date and all is everything finalized. So he goes there and that's how they've shown the episode. Obviously the scripting must be different. So he goes there and he's Sura set ready ho gaya for his special and he goes on stage a day before and then he realizes he doesn't have to do it. So who doesn't want to do it? So he goes back to the NBC director who they have shown in Curb Your Enthusiasm, that Alan Wasserman. I think वो जो shrimp लेके जाता है ना उसका. So that's the guy they have shown and he tells him that my stepfather died and I have to go to see him tomorrow. So I cannot record this. And then he leaves. So then the entire episode about that where Jeff goes and pitches the special first, everything falls in place. And then उसमें भी थोड़ा सा like the episode they have shown a couple of things. And then he goes back. So I don't know if it's true or maybe if it's
no. So it is true. So apparently he did a special a few years before the actual show, and then they got into a discussion, and then they turned the whole thing into a show. And I thought that's great. Like, are there any other specials that you can think of which you think would become great as series? Like, I feel if Huxley Single became a show, I think that would be a like it had so many smaller stories and observations that it could actually become like a small mini series, like an episodic thing. Are there any specials that stand out for you that you feel could probably become like Indian or international? I said Indian because मैं तो बहुत कम ही अंग्रेजी.
I don't remember. It's Mike. Like उसका special है. It's My Girlfriend's Boyfriend or something like that. I don't remember the comic. It's My B something. I don't remember the surname. तो उसका स्पेशल है about like how he hated.
Barbie
Yeah,
Galia.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard him on
exactly, exactly.
Apple. Yeah,
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 yeah. So uska special is that like my girlfriend's boyfriend, or like how he hates marriages, and then how like there is an entire story about wo kaise switch ho jata hai, and it has like small incidents, और
yeah.
वो बहुत बन सकता है अगर उसने किया. Other, I think Kevin Hart can make a good मतलब
Yeah,
उसका
any
कोई
day.
भी
Yeah.
वो शो बना सकता है, बट
Even
उसका हुआ था आई गेस, बट 2 रिजेक्ट हो गए थे पायलट उसके.
But I
Quarter
don't know. I
Life
mean,
Crisis, जो टेलर
हाँ,
टॉमलिंसन.
या हाँ.
हाँ, उसमें भी मुझे लगा कि मतलब बहुत सारे, like if you're in your 20s, it would be a better friends for like millennials, I feel.
हाँ.
I don't know. I personally think that it's very difficult to. I don't know. मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि दोनों का writing थोड़ा सा अलग है.
Very different,
Comedy
yeah,
का
agree.
writing and the
हाँ.
show का writing, because I think when you think of writing a show, it has a lot more characters. So unless and until you're painting a lot of characters in your special, it might become really difficult. So most of the people who paint a lot of characters in the special, they might be able to go and write a series actually, because a lot of people do sort of completely observational comedy, which they very rarely talk about any other characters as such.
Right.
Then there are some people जिसे पूरा उसी के ऊपर build रहता है कि ये बंदे ने ऐसा किया, and then there's a story around that. So
Yeah.
that one can actually become a beautiful
Sitcom.
beautiful sitcom. So
Best thing could be like कोई observational comic आ रहा है और उसके साथ कोई storyteller आ रहा है, and both of them like what Seinfeld and Larry David are basically, but like that could be the ideal scenario. Like if Zakir comes with like Biswa Kalyan Rath, that will be a great show, you know, because just the amount of jokes और सब हो जाएगा उसमें, story का arc आ जाएगा. It would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean that also brings me to one more question, which that why do you think, like for us in television or even now in OTT, we don't have as many, like as much diversity in terms of comedy shows. Like we just do, like the Dekh Bhai Dekh format is still going on. Like can you think of any shows that which we have watched in the last few years? Like I feel like if you now look at drama, for example, like there's Sacred Games, Mirzapur. I mean, you know, there are good drama shows. Like even in romance, there is Bandish Bandits. Like
Yeah.
it's an interesting setting. But I feel in comedy, we are still in that zone only. Like
because the scene is more or less being dominated by a few people, right? Unless until that changes, the real quality doesn't come out. The way people are looking at things is, if you have Instagram followers, you are going to get work, and then you are going to get into writing. So unless until someone says that this person is a good writer, no one is going to take him for it. So that's the sort of, unfortunately, that's the sort of bullshit that is there in the Indian comedy scene. So
Yeah.
it's full of, I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that on a stream like this, but it's sort of full of nepotism to a great extent. And understandably, you know somebody of somebody, you're not going to get to work.
hang on, I
And
know
if
how
that,
to blur out parts of the video on YouTube, so it's fine.
and if no, it's okay, because off late I've become really but shameless in terms of saying things, but that's the truth. Unless and until, and it's not just about comedy industry. If you look at it, it's about people's behavior. I
Right,
mean, we
right. I
have a
think
lot
it's
of shows
also
like
true for movies. Like you need to have a certain reputation before certain scripts are given to you.
we laugh at shows like Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, but if you look at it, it's been gripping for a lot of people. And there's some of my friends and all who tell me, oh, my family really enjoys that. It's really light-hearted humor that they enjoy. It's all about having a person glued to a particular format for a longer amount of time. So if you can get a person to glue to their mobile or TV set for a longer amount of time, no matter how unfunny it is, it's just keeps on going. It's something that people also don't want to use their brain to laugh at things. I'll give you an example. For example, there was a show called Yes Minister, which is I think an old British show,
Right,
and I
right,
think
yes.
they did an Indian adaptation
G
of that
Mantri ji.
show, G Mantri, and it was a brilliant adaptation. There is
Yeah.
nothing that you can take away in terms of writing, but I think that ran only for one season. It couldn't go beyond one season.
Yeah.
That's the problem that they had, because obviously there were a lot of political connotations to it which might not have been able to take forward. But then लोगों को नहीं उतना वो ह्यूमर हमारे अच्छा लगता, क्योंकि लोगों को टाइम नहीं है इतना सोचने का. They will watch everything. As you said, the Dekh Bhai Dekh format, it's a very chilled out format, and even Dekh Bhai Dekh was a very beautifully written show at that time, because people had a lot of time to write those shows.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's a very nice show.
अभी क्या होता है 30 सेकंड का रील बनाने के लिए पीपल आर सो एक्साइटेड एंड इट्स नॉट द कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स फॉल्ट, इट्स नॉट कंटेंट
Right.
क्रिएटर्स फॉल्ट, इट्स द फॉल्ट ऑफ द पर्सन हु इज वाचिंग दैट कि हाँ हम देख के एंजॉय कर रहे हैं यार, वी आर जस्ट वेस्टिंग टाइम। वो 30 सेकंड का स्टोरी देखते हैं, पांच उसमें 50 वीडियो हम देख लेते हैं, इट्स व्हाई वुड आई स्पेंड टाइम वाचिंग वन वीडियो? सो दैट्स
Yeah.
YouTube has also gone to the shorts format. So
Yeah.
Also, I think industry is run by like really old people. I'm being honest here. मैं लोगों के साथ like interact कर रहा हूँ, so they are very old and their idea of comedy is very like अरे ऐसा
Dated.
fun डाल दो ना, मजा नहीं आ रहा है यार, इसमें कोई word play नहीं हो रहा है, या फिर कुछ ऐसा adult joke मारो ना यार, ये क्या लिखा है. So their idea of humor is that. So when you go and pitch something new, like I had recently pitched an idea जो reject हो गया था obviously, but they're like कि नहीं यार इसमें ये नहीं है. I'm like sir, this will work. Okay. So in Marathi also I was doing a parody of Smelly Cat, but like with black cats because वो inauspicious माना जाता है.
Right, right.
So they were
Yeah, I
like
can also tell them this will work.
yeah, but like तू as like कि तू कुछ creative कर लेते ना यार, let's see कहाँ पे जाता है. It's like कौन सा फर्क पड़ने वाला है. And they're like नहीं इतना मजा नहीं आएगा. And I'm like dude, that's not how things work यार, तुम लोग को थोड़ा evolve तो होना चाहिए. Also it's like our fault, like content creators fault, because हम लोग like एक point के बाद हम लोग growth को manage नहीं कर पाते. Like we are like if comedians are doing it, we are restricted to like YouTube. फिर हम लोग वो jump नहीं मार पाते to Bollywood or like when you see in US, people who are doing stand up, they come to do TV shows and hit success and bring their own ideas in the market. India mein it's like no comic is like going on TV. You go on TV as judges, but uske baad fir kya? Like there is a large audience जो TV based है, जिनको पता ही नहीं क्या और कैसे work हो रही है चीजें. So we are responsible कि हम लोग वो jump नहीं मार सकते. We as in content creator generally, like 30 second TV के बाद बना देगा. But you should understand कि you need a 30-minute episode also, कि तुझे वो भी आना चाहिए if you want to leave a big impact.
Right.
To change the idea of comedy.
Yeah, so Anish, the thing is that the TV fan, I mean, if you look at all these comics, I mean, obviously, I've been observing people doing that, jumping from comedy
There
to
is somebody, Parth Makwana wants you to take his name, Pushkar. He's a fan.
Hi Parth. Oh, hi Parth. How are you? I think is he the only person watching the chat right now? Hi Parth, thanks for watching. ऐसा मेरे को किसी ने नहीं बोला कि fan है मेरा, but I'm feeling like एकदम खुश हो गया मैं. I had a really bad day yesterday, but I think today is way better. Thanks Parth. Hope you're enjoying the stream.
Yeah. You were saying something, Pushkar. I'm sorry, I cut you in the middle.
So Anish, क्या बोल रहा था मैं? What I was saying is there are two things. One is there are a lot of people from TV. They watch. See, a lot of people are going from comedians to OTTs, and OTTs give out a lot of money. Okay. Yeah. OTTs बहुत पैसे देते हैं. There's no doubt about it. OTTs just throw money like anything. And the thing is, TV doesn't give that much money. TV pays very less money. And in fact, you are involved with Marathi TV also. Okay, and Marathi TV, the way they pay, Hindi TV pays a little more than that, and you have to put in a lot of work. So it becomes a lot of 9 to 5 job for people to get involved in something like that. And if something is paying someone for a 1 hour special, like a hell lot of money, they will prefer doing that rather than going to that. In fact, that's a problem with a lot of writers also that they are facing. A lot of good writers, rather than focusing on writing and even to some extent writing for this thing for plays or writing books, they are going from there directly to writing for OTTs, like a movie or maybe a web series or something like that. Web series more specifically. So that's the change in format that is happening right now. And second thing is TV pay. There are so many restrictions that you go to write, then it's going to go to the SNP. SNP is going to validate it. It doesn't work. Then they say इसमें गाली नहीं होना चाहिए. You can't offend any religion. And I think offense से most of the comedy happens in India. That's how it started. When like AIB did stand up earlier, like offense करेंगे लोगों को, उससे मजा आता है. When people started taking that, a lot of comics kept following that.
But there was a show called Bring On the Night on MTV, which was written by Tanmay Bhatt, Rohan Joshi, and somebody else. I guess Thamba. Okay, and that show is like the benchmark of what shows should be. But unfortunately, वो उतना promote नहीं हुआ था, and I think उतना चला भी नहीं. They quit left after like one show. But I was like, like we could have shifted from there. But the problem with TV is that सब लोग एक ही criteria लेके चलते हैं. Like if this is the benchmark कि अगर तुम लोग तारक मेहता से better TRP नहीं ला रहे हो तो they will मतलब बंद कर दोगे तुम्हारा show.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah.
Every show
So,
has its own niche audience, you know. तो उसके हिसाब से आपको compare करना चाहिए. क्योंकि Bring On आ रहा है, सब लोग नहीं देख रहे, but थोड़े लोग continuously देख रहे हैं, there are huge fans. तो continue करते, you know, that should be the criteria.
It has an insane rating on this thing here on IMDb. I didn't know about this show earlier much, but I think there is Sarang Sathe also involved in it.
Yeah. Sarang Sathe.
It's also
it's amazing. It's
one of the Marathi comedians.
It's one of the best shows that I've seen in Indian market, and it's obviously written by so many great comics. So it has to be. But that's the one thing कि हम लोग ऐसा एक criteria नहीं करना चाहिए टीवी को. So अगर वो नहीं किया तो आगे नहीं shows. Otherwise you fall into the same trap कि अरे हाँ कुछ तो भाभी और इसका कर देते हैं और कुछ तो जोक मारेंगे.
भाभी जी घर पर है.
Even जेठालाल बबीता जी same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. So I want to give a cliche example to elaborate Anish's point. There was a series during the lockdown on Star Plus, okay, on prime time. It was called Lockdown Ki Love Story. Okay, see guys, before you judge me, I stay at home with a mother, okay, and I need to spend half an hour with her to continue not giving rent, okay. So I started watching the series with her. Bonding time, nothing else.
Lockdown Ki Love Story sounds like a B-grade movie title. something
the series
would
when
really
it
be jealous of not being able to make it. Like Lockdown Ki Love Story.
Yeah, you actually summarized the plot, Pushkar. No, but honestly, when the series started, it was this couple who are a Bombay couple who were in a live-in who come to UP to get married. Okay, and they get stuck there. I mean, if I say this plot in 2 lines, this sounds interesting, right?
Yeah.
And initially, the series started well also. अच्छा writing था, सब characters अच्छे थे, माँ ऐसे typical माँ जैसा behave कर रही थी, वो जो female representation था वो भी सही था. But I realized कि now Star Plus का audience is obviously very different, right? So they must have not done good enough numbers. So suddenly, the series within 3 to 4 episodes, it took a full Saas Bahu turn. And it really it broke my heart. I mean, obviously there are a lot of other things this year to break my heart, but this was one of the many reasons. It's
that happens to every show in India, yaar. Every show you see, even Tarak Mehta, I'm not kidding. In 2008, when it started, it was anti-TV. So there was one episode जहाँ पे Daya is criticizing TV shows ऐसा. So it was supposed to be that, and then they made one complete 180 and went ki हम लोग pander ही करेंगे अभी audience.
Yeah. I think money. I mean, as long as you're getting paid, you're just.
The only show I remember which is not. इसमें नहीं फंसा is FIR. I don't know if you have seen FIR.
Yeah, I've seen FIR because my life.
बहुत funny है, बहुत funny. अभी भी चलता है.
नहीं मैं
कुछ भी मारती रहती थी यार चौटाल में, बहुत एंजॉय करता था.
It was so funny and उसमें कुछ सीन ही नहीं है सास बहू का. So they had this one template of writing कि कुछ भी लाइन आके बोलेगा, कुछ भी चल रहा है इस शो में. They continued it for so long, but फिर वो शो बंद हो गया. See, that's the problem.
So here I want to say something